There's been a lot of talk and a lot of noise and a lot of interest over the last year or so around the arrival of two top contenders in the 7-seat SUV market, the Ford Everest and the Toyota Fortuner. And unfortunately for Chevrolet, all that talk and all that noise has drowned out some of the interest around their contender, the Trailblazer. It's also a 7-seat SUV, it can go wherever those other two can go, and yet this new version slipped onto the scene as quietly as you like. The Trailblazer has always been the also-ran in this particular race, thanks mainly to South Africans' brand loyalty to Ford and Toyota. Well, maybe it's also because the Trailblazer isn't quite as pretty as the other two. The updates to this model include the new front end, which now has daytime running lights. But overall, the look of the Trailblazer isn't quite as slick as the rest. It's more Velskun than Salomon. I'm not trying to be unkind. A well-made pair of Velskun will go just as far as a pair of well-made hiking boots. But the big Chev definitely has a more simple approach. It's not unattractive, it's just that, to me, its impact relies more on its chunkiness and its sheer size, rather than any considered design or attempts to be as stylish as the Everest or the Fortuner. The extra decals and other black bits are all part of the Z71 package, Z71 package, which is all about paying tribute to Chev's performance car heritage. Although why they chose to do that in a 2.2-ton SUV with a 2.5-litre diesel motor with no real performance intent is beyond me. But be that as it may, from here on out, the whole Fortuner Trailblazer Everest comparison gets really quite interesting, because on paper, in terms of drivetrain and power and interior space and off-road figures, things are incredibly close. With 144 kilowatts and 500 newton meters, this Trailblazer has the highest torque figure, but less power than the Everest. But like the Everest and the Fortuner, it also packs a 6-speed auto with all-wheel drive and low range. When it comes to ride setup, it seems the Chev follows the same philosophy as the design. It's good, but it still has a bit of a utilitarian edge to it. The Trailblazer has had a lot of work done on its noise and vibration and harshness, and while it is fairly quiet and fairly comfortable, the ride setup is a little bit rough around the edges. It's not uncomfortable, it's just not as smooth as the others. We said the same thing about the previous Trailblazer we drove. It's good, but it takes a little getting used to. Chev have added a few bits in this flagship model to try make the drive as easy as possible. The Z71 gets a new electric power steering system, which includes a feature that reduces driver effort by helping eliminate the need to make small steering corrections. The Z71 also has lane departure warning, collision warning, and a blind spot monitor. The 4x4 system is unchanged, and that's not a bad thing. We've driven a Trailblazer in some pretty tough conditions down in the Eastern Cape, and it had absolutely zero trouble taking on whatever we threw at it. As well as that, it kept up quite well with all the other respected 4x4s on that trip. Running in rear-wheel drive by default, the Trailblazer has selectable all-wheel drive with low range. The only minor hindrance to its off-road abilities is its ground clearance, which is around 6 centimeters lower than the Fortuner. Still, traveling in the Trailblazer on any road surface is comfortable enough. The most noticeable improvement over the old Trailblazer is the interior, where some of the materials, especially the plastics, are a lot nicer. The layout is clean and simple, and the spec now includes the latest version of the MyLink infotainment system, which has Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Those systems allow simplified connection and access to mobile phone functionality. If you own a phone that is maybe less technologically advanced, like a Nokia or even a BlackBerry, don't despair. Bluetooth is included, and the car system is still easy enough to use, and the LTZ and Z71 models get sat-nav. Passenger comfort includes rear aircon and an adjustable second row of seats. The third row of seats is easy enough to access with one-touch folding functionality, but it is unsurprisingly cozy once you're back there. For me, though, there is one very surprising thing about the Trailblazer, and that's how infrequently it comes up in the conversation about 7-seat SUVs. Even when you look at the tiny details, from the size of the wheels to its approach and departure angles, it is an absolute competitor. And when it comes to bigger things like drive, practicality, comfort, off-road ability, the Trailblazer can compete very easily with the much-loved Fortuner and Everest. And when you consider this top-of-the-range model is priced right in between comparable models from Ford and Toyota, it really is quite a shame that this car doesn't get the credit and the sales that it deserves.
The updated Trailblazer now packs more refinement and slicker looks to match its proven off-road and general SUV ability. The top-of-the-range Z71 model also features unique styling. It has the interior spec and comfort to match its much-fancied opposition. Looking at the package as a whole and the value it offers, the Trailblazer should feature higher up the sales charts.